𝘿𝙗𝙖𝙢𝙢𝙖 and a very good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Welcome to the weekly Sunday Pūjā in Unison and Dhamma sharing online, an initiative of the Buddhist Council of Malaysia, and is hosted by MSBS and DBV. It's certainly good to see all of you once again on this online platform. I'd like to extend a great welcome to all new viewers to this channel. Today is the 1st of October 2023, and it marks the end of the Vasa season for some Sri Lanka temples. To begin today's puja, I shall now invite Sister Doris to read out the offerings in English. Over to you, Sister Doris.
Thank you, Brother Terence. 𝘿𝙗𝙖𝙢𝙢𝙖, a very good morning to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Let us calm our minds and reflect on the meaning of the virtual offerings that we shall make with full respect to our blessed teacher, the Buddha. Offerings of lights. Let us offer these candles burning brightly out of deep respect and veneration to our enlightened master, the Buddha. May this light symbolically guide us to the light of the Dhamma, which dispels the darkness of greed with the light of generosity, the gloominess of hatred with the light of love, and the darkness of ignorance with the light of wisdom through the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Offering of joss sticks and incense. Let us offer these joss sticks and incense out of deep respect and veneration to our blessed master, the Buddha. May the fragrance of these joss sticks and incense be pleasing unto the gods and devas. May our good deeds be like the fragrance of these joss sticks, cultivating compassion, patience, tolerance, understanding, and love towards all living things. Offering of water. Let us offer this water to symbolize our aspiration to cultivate the virtues of calmness, clarity, and purity. Let it remind us to diligently cleanse ourselves of our spiritual defilements and delusion through the cultivation of generosity, compassion, and wisdom. Offering of flowers. These flowers too we offer out of deep respect and gratitude to our compassionate master, the Buddha. These flowers, sweet, beautiful, and choice, are clustered at the feet of our noble master. Beautiful as they are now, they will soon, with passing of time, wilt and fade and be cast away. Reflecting thus on this very nature of unsatisfactoriness, impermanence, and soullessness, let us tread the path shown by the Buddha for the removal of sufferings here and now. Let us compose our minds and turn our attention to the service wholeheartedly. Let us all say sadhu 3 times before commencing with the opening salutation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutidampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Panati Pata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Adinna Dana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Kamesu Miccāchāra Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Musavada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Surameraya Majjapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijja Charana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarati Sattha Deva Manussanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Sandittiko Akhaliko Ehipasiko Opanayiko Paccatthang Vedittabbo Vinyuhiti. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho. Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho. Nyaya Patipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho. Samici Patipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho. Yadidang Cattari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Puggala. Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho. Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakkineyo Anjalikaraniyo Anuttarang Punyakhetang Lokasati.
Vandami Cetiyang Sabang Sabbatane Supatititang Saririkadatu Mahabodhing Buddha Rupang Sakalang Sada Yassa Mule Nisinno Va Sabbari Vijayang Aka Pato Sabanyutang Satta Wande Tang Bodhipadapang Ime Ete Mahabodhi Lohknatena Pujita Ahang Pite Namasami Bodhi Raja Namatute. Ganasarapaditena Dipena Tamadang Sina 𝓤𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪 Sambuddhang Pujayami Tamonudang. Ganda Sambara Yuttena Dupenahang Sugandhina Pujaye Pujaniyang Tang Puja Bhajana Muttamang. Adivase tuno bante Paniyang Parikappitang Anukampang Upadaya Patiganhatu Muttamang. Adivase tuno bante Bojanang Parikappitang Anukampang Upadaya Patiganhatu Muttamang. Adivase tuno bante Kilana Pacayang Imang Anukampang Upadaya Patiganhatu Muttamang. Wanna Ganda Guno Petang Etang Kusuma Santating Pujayami munindasa Siripada saroruhe Pujemi buddhang kusumena nena Punyena metena cahotu mukang Upang milayati yata idang me Kayo tatayati vinasa bawang Akasata ca bummata Dewa naga mahittika Punyang tang anumoditwa Cirang rakkantu loka sasanang Akasata ca bummata Dewa naga mahittika Punyang tang anumoditwa Cirang rakkantu Dhamma desanang Akasata ca bummata Dewa naga mahittika Punyang tang anumoditwa Cirang rakkantu mang paranti Dewo wasatu kalena Sassa sampati hetu ca Pito bawatu loko ca Raja bawatu dhammiko Idang me nyatinang hotu Sukita hontu nyatayo Idang me nyatinang hotu Sukita hontu nyatayo Idang me nyatinang hotu Sukita hontu nyatayo Iminna punya kammena Mame bala samagamo Satang samagamo hotu Yawa nibbana pattiya Kayena waca cittena Pamadena maya katang Acayang kamame bante Buri panya tatagata Kayena waca cittena Pamadena maya katang Acayang kamame dhamma Sandittika akalika Kayena waca cittena Pamadena maya katang Acayang kamame sangga Supatipanna anuttara
Niyamatta kusalena yantang santang padang apisamecca sakko ujuja sujuja suvaco casamuduanatimani santus sakoca subharoca apakicca sallahu kavutti Santindriyo ca nipako ca appagappo kulesu ananugiddo naca kuddang samacare kinciyena vinya hare upavadeyong Sukino vakemino unto sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitata yeke cipana bhutati tasavata varavana vasesa igawa ye mahantava Vachimarasakhanukatulam Ittava yeva adita ye chadure vasanti avidure Bhutava sambhave siva sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta naparo parang nikobeta nati manyeta katta chinang kanchi yaro sana patikasanya nanya manya Kamicheya Mata Yatani Yang Putang Ayusa Eka Putta Manurakye Evang Pisabha Bhutesu Manasang Bhavaye Aparimanang Mettang Ca Sabba Lokasmin Manasang bhavaye aparimadang Uddang adocha kiriyancha Asambadang averang asapatang Tittang charang nisindova Sayanova yavatassa vigatamiddo Etang sating aditeya Rakmametang viharang idamaho Itinchanupagamma silava Dasanena sampanno Kame suvineya gedang Nahijatu gappaseyang Punareti Etena Satchavajena Sotite Hotu Sabada Etena Satchavajena Sotite Hotu Sabada Etena Satchavajena Sotite hotu sabada. By this declaration of truth, may you be safe at all times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, Sister Doris, Sister Chang, and Sister Kut for today's Sunday Pūjā. Now back with us this week, we have Bro Tan Leng Huat again to share on I Want to Be Happy, part 2 of the Path of Happiness. Over to you, Bro Tan Leng Huat.
Thank you, Brother Terence. 𝓤𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪 to all viewers. 𝓤𝓾𝓷. Okay, we will now continue with our I want to be happy. Everybody wants to be happy. Last few weeks ago, I was at somebody. We started with I Want to Be Happy series, and actually we covered on the. We spoke on the 4 types of happiness that we know of. We speak of things that we can understand. So the 4 kinds of happiness that we talk about is number 1 is the happiness of earning. Earning. Ati sukha. Ati sukha. That means the happiness of earning, meaning to say that we are very happy that we can earn a living. Earn a living in a righteous way. In a righteous way, that means we don't have to kill for our survival. We don't have to steal for our survival. We don't have to abuse. We don't have to abuse our sexual kind of desires for our survival. We don't have to tell lies for our survival. We don't have to drink to get drunk for our survival. So we are happy, we are lucky that all of us here, many of us, we have got what we call the ati sukha, meaning the happiness of earning in a proper livelihood. That's the first kind of happiness that we spoke about the last time when I was with you all. And the second kind of happiness that we would like to talk about is actually about bhoga sukha. The happiness of using this whatever wealth we have accumulated during our career, whatever wealth we have accumulated during our right livelihood, we want to be able to spend them when we are older. Meaning to say that we hope to be blessed with a bit of longevity to enjoy this kind of life, right? That we have whatever we have saved, we can now in our ripe age, in our golden age, we are able to spend that money. Spend wisely again. Don't forget, spending means we spend wisely on our family, and relatives in problem. We have to help them. We do community work and this kind of things. So during the golden years, we hope that we can enjoy this whatever wealth that we have accrued and we have accumulated during our career. That will be the second happiness we talk about. And the third kind of happiness that we mentioned the previous time when we met was the debtlessness. Things like we don't owe people. In our golden age, in our golden ripe age, we are free from all this debt. We don't have to worry about paying this installment, paying that, paying this, paying that. We have enough to survive comfortably. We are free from debt. That is another happiness that we are looking for. This I'm talking through my experience also. At this age, I don't have to worry about paying this installment, paying that installment, so we are just free. What little we have, we can survive comfortably. That is another kind of happiness that we are talking about. And of course, the last kind of happiness we spoke about is the blamelessness. What does that mean? That means during our retirement age, during this golden age of ours, this ripe golden age, we don't want to be worried about things we did wrong in the past and worry about this coming back to catch us. Correct? We don't want to have this kind of karma coming back to us when our ripe golden age, when we retire. And also we don't want to be involved with any authorities when we are older. Correct? The meaning to say that when we want to retire, we hope that we are able to settle all these kind of things that we owe to the public or we owe to the government. For example, the income tax, we don't owe them. So we can live comfortably. We are not worried about anything. So these are the four happiness that we spoke about. Things that I understand well, I share with you. So I know that at this ripe age of mine, I hope that I've earned I've got a good livelihood. I don't have to kill and steal and sexually abuse myself. I don't have to tell lies. I don't have to drink to get drunk for my living. Okay, and I've lived long enough to be able to enjoy what little I have accumulated during these career days. And also, again, I am free from debt. And again, here we are free from blamelessness. Don't worry, nobody will come after me. I have not offended anybody. I have not owed the government money. So my life is very conducive. So these are the four happiness that the Buddha talked to us about, and which I am personally experiencing that now. So we are very happy at this age. But of course, you must remember, among the greatest of all, some people say that blamelessness is among the greatest, so that we don't worry when we are retired about something, somebody knocking on your door at midnight, correct? Somebody knock on your door at midnight, you panic, correct? So people like us, you don't worry, you knock on my door at any time of the day, I will just answer you, correct? Because kita tak ada hutang kita tak ada apa-apa so that is why that is actually among the best of the four. You can say that if you want to. Okay, and then we also spoke on the parable of the scratching dog. Remember, we say that, you have dogs at home, or you have seen dogs, going to one corner and then scratching itself, and then not comfortable in that corner, and then goes to the next corner, still scratches himself or itself, and then not comfortable there, still go to another corner of the house, still scratches himself, things like that. So the dog changes spot to scratch. Why? Because the dog thinks that corner, the first corner that he set, maybe causes the skin to be itchy. Then so the dog changed another corner, another corner, same also, still itchy. So switch another corner, so again itchy. So what we are trying to tell you is that itchiness did not come from the corners where the dog sat. It came from himself, from the skin. The skin has some problem. Correct? Itu macam itu anjing kurap lah. Betul? Scratching everywhere lah. But thinking that the corner is the one that is causing it to be itchy. No, it is the skin. So we are saying that this kind of happiness actually also is internal. Nothing to do with external. Yeah, right. There was once Ananda told the Buddha also, they went to a place, they're not comfortable, they said, let's move to another place. The Buddha says, so we carry on moving lah. Until we got no place to move lah. Is it? So the Buddha says, no, we must stay here and settle lah. Whatever difficulties there is here lah. Okay. So we have got that. So we also touch on the paticca samuppada. We say that, yes, we want to be happy. But we must also know the cause of happiness, We don't say that we just want to be happy, but how to be happy? Right? We know there's 4 ways to be happy, but how to be happy? Another way is, we say it's all internalized. Happiness is internalized. So there must be cause and effect. And I like to bring you back to this old song. This is during the sound of music. I like this song very much, and I always hum to myself this song. Nothing comes from nothing, nothing ever could. So somewhere in my youth or childhood, there must have been a moment of truth, isn't it? So I like this stanza very much, Then when we like something, we must contemplate now. We must contemplate what does it mean here. So I will interpret that like this, that we will understand that there must be a moment of truth. What is this moment of truth that we are talking about in happiness? There must be a moment of truth, because nothing comes from nothing. Nothing ever could. So somewhere in our youth, or in Buddhist term, we say in our past birth, we must have done something good, isn't it? Okay. So now we will now contemplate on what is this moment of truth. This moment of truth, there's something that's easy for us to understand. I will refer you to the Brahma Vihara. The 4 foundations of happiness. So first is loving kindness, we say metta. And second, we say compassion. Correct. And third, we say is sympathetic joy. And the 4th of the Brahma Viharas is the equanimity, upekkha. Correct. So it's not enough. It's not enough for us to be happy alone. You must always remember. I have touched on that also last time. We say it's not enough for us to be happy. To be happy about ourselves only, not enough. Why? We want the community to be happy, then you can be happy. For example, when you go for a wake service, everybody there is very sad, they are grieving. So how do you feel? You also feel sad there, isn't it? You cannot go to a wake service and then start being happy, they're jumping around, you cannot, because the atmosphere there doesn't allow. So when the community is not happy, we become unhappy. Correct? You go to a birthday party, you go to a wedding party, everybody happy, the host is so happy that the child is getting married. You also share the joy with them, isn't it? You become happy also. So when the community is happy, you are also happy. So that is the meaning of it. That's what we are saying here, as that you cannot think that you alone can be happy. You must make sure that the community is also happy. And how do we get this community to be happy? How do we contribute to this? Correct. How do we contribute for this kind of truth? We say the truth. How to make to continue to make community happy? So remember, we say metta. Correct. The first cause of happiness, sometimes you can say is metta. Metta is the first cause. It's not enough for us to be happy when others are not happy. We have already said that, can't? So we should expand our concern for the happiness of all living beings, wishing and working for others' happiness. And this is what we call love. In Buddhism, we call this metta. We must have this metta with us. Okay? So this boundless love is the basis, the nature of all living beings. Without love, everything becomes dry. Love makes everything rich. Remember? Lush and vital. It's like a protein that makes our life more nutritious. So love can enlighten the atmosphere. Right? Love without clinging, of course. Remember, we say that the clinging is a cause of suffering. So when we say we have that kind of love, the Buddha reminded us, is love without clinging. It's not love alone. Love with clinging does not bring much happiness, because eventually it will bring you sadness also. So we must say that love without clinging naturally shines on every living being like the sunlight. So we must radiate that kind of love, for everybody. We mustn't feel that we are special. We must feel that others are also special. And what is so special for others? How to make others happy? Okay, so that is our life here, so we become friends to everyone. Our mind becomes very calm and peaceful. When we are friendly to everyone, the mind is very peaceful. You don't worry about going out. People say, when you have got only one enemy, wherever you go, you see him, You got so many friends, you don't see your friend, but one enemy, everywhere you go, you see him. So that makes your life very, very uncomfortable. Every corner you go, you see that enemy of yours, isn't it? So this happens, you see. So this is not very good, okay? So this is something which, again, I say that we can experience ourselves. Buddhism is an experiential religion, whereby we learn to experience this thing, then we accept, then we can understand deeper, we can understand better. So we can understand the 3 levels, what we learn in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. So with love, we see everything as special, beautiful, and lovely outside and inside. We might not see this because of our limited preference and vision. Because we have so limited preference and so limited vision, we don't see the beauty in others. But when you have metta, you can see the beauty in others. We depend on others also for their cooperation and support in everything that we do, everything that's possibly that we can do. We need others to support also. So it is live and let live. So that is the concept that the Buddha says here. Similarly, also in the Pali Canon, remember we always chant the Karaniya Metta Sutta. So don't forget, whenever we want to share happiness, we must also remember Karaniya Metta Sutta. What does it say? This stanza says, Ditta va yeva aditta, ye cha dure vasanti avidure, uta va sambhave siva, sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. Here the Buddha says, those seen or unseen, those dwelling near or far, those who are born and yet to be born, may all these beings be happy without exception. Right? So that is what our metta is all about, and that is how we radiate metta, and we can make people happy and make us happy. Okay. The second cause of happiness, of course, here we will use the word compassion. After metta is karuna, so it is compassion. Compassion. And what is this compassion? It is an outreaching expression of our love. Right? We must have compassion. Outreach this compassion to people. Outreach this love to people. And that is compassion. No point having this love and think that we love this, we love that, but we keep it to ourselves, but we have to express this to people. That is in a form of compassion. Compassion is the wish and activity to help relieve the suffering of others. So we must cultivate this. Don't forget the 4 Brahma Vihara. After we have cultivated metta, we must cultivate compassion, the outreach of our metta. Then that is very important. The outreach of metta to relieve people of the suffering. That should be our. So it does not involve in misdeeds. So when we say that we have compassion, does not mean that we accept the misdeed of the person, Yes, the person can be guilty. Example, Angulimala. He was guilty of killing 999 people already. He even wanted to kill his mother. Correct. but the Buddha still have compassion for him. Not because the Buddha has compassion for the misdeeds. Don't forget now, we don't have to support the misdeeds, but we can love the doer, but not the actions. Don't forget. So we will say that we can love the doer, but not the actions. Like the Christians say, God will forgive. God forbid all sins, but will forgive the sinners. So we mustn't think, oh, the person is bad, we keep away. We must not think like that. We must forgive his bad deeds. We are not supporting his bad deeds, but we must forgive him, support him, and transform him. And that's what the Buddha did for Angulimala. So that is what we should be inspired also. When we see somebody, so sometimes it's just like us. We see somebody who's not too good, we just keep away. Yeah, okay, fine, we keep away. But better still, if we want to extend our compassion, is to be compassionate to the doer, not his actions. That means we must go to the doer and help him. Does not mean we support his actions, does not mean we support. The Buddha did not support Angulimala for killing 999 people, but the Buddha supported Angulimala and then transformed him. So that kind of compassion we should do. And this compassion does not mean that we are weak. This compassion actually means that we are strong in character. You look at people like Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa. These are people full of compassion. And yet they're very strong. That is not weak. That is very strong character. So compassion means you have very strong character. Don't be mistaken that compassion means we are lembek lah, kita lembek lah. Semua kita forgive lah. No. Yes, we forgive the doer. We don't support the actions, remember. Okay, then after that, we can offer our help. Then again, compassion is to offer your help. Offer whatever help you can. But don't worry that it's too small or too big. We must make sure that we must offer our help. Offer according to our capabilities. Correct? And also each time we offer, we must feel the joy and appreciation and the happiness for whatever we are able to help sincerely. It can be small, but never mind. But we will remember that in future, I try to do better. That's all. So we must consider all this. Don't say, oh, I'm too small to help. No. Nobody is too small to help. Every drop of ocean, every drop of water from the mighty ocean. Don't forget, everybody gives a little bit, it becomes very big. But we must say, okay, fine, we agree it's small, but we hope that in future we have the capacity to do something bigger. We must do that. We must do that. So that is the way to talk about compassion. Okay. So if we have courage, commitment, and determination, gradually our capabilities will grow and our compassionate activities will increase. Correct? And you cultivate this kind of commitment and determination, and I'm sure your compassionate activities will eventually increase. Rather than becoming bored, every time we say, oh yeah, every time same problem, every time calamity is here, every time calamity is there, every time earthquake here, earthquake there, oh yeah, every time this, this. So we mustn't lose faith. We must continue to be determined. When we continue with this courage and commitment, eventually this compassion in us will grow. So we must have that confidence. So take them as opportunities to increase our courage, confidence, and joy, and our love, compassion, and wisdom. So that will be the second cause that we call it compassion. And of course, the third cause of happiness. The third cause of happiness here, again, we're using the Brahma Viharas. They say here the third cause of happiness is rejoicing. Udita, rejoice. Correct, we must rejoice. Rejoice in others' happiness is very special because it reaffirms and strengthens our own love and compassion. Correct. When we rejoice with people's success, we are actually strengthening our own love and compassion towards that person. Because we are not talking about metta. After metta, we have our compassion. Compassion means what? The action of metta. Not only thinking of pity, thinking of love, putting it to action, outreaching is called compassion. Now, when you have done that, the next step you do is you must also rejoice. Correct. Then when you rejoice, it reaffirms and strengthens your own love and compassion. So love and compassion later will transform into rejoice. Correct. Altruistic joy. So we will rejoice in people. So when we love somebody and they experience some degree of happiness and peace, or their relief of suffering and difficulty, there is a cause for rejoice. Correct. But when others get it, do we have the same cause for rejoice? We should cultivate that way. Yes, our loved ones, whatever they are successful, our children are successful, we rejoice. That is automatic. But when others are successful, we must learn to rejoice. Correct? And that is the elaboration of our metta, compassion, development of metta, compassion, and it reaches to rejoice level. Correct? Okay, so this is a compassion towards actor. Don't forget, again here we will say that this compassion is for the actor, not the actions. We never support the actions, but we are happy the Angulimala. We are happy the Angulimala could transform himself and become a disciple of the Buddha and eventually became an Arahant. So we must rejoice. We rejoice in the act. We rejoice in Angulimala, not in his actions of killing 999 people. Don't forget that actions we don't support, but we support the doer. Because Angulimala has transformed. If Buddha did not have that kind of compassion, if the Buddha does not care about the actor, he condemns actor and actions together, there's no Angulimala. Probably there's no us also. We all once upon a time also be very naughty also, like mischievous girls and mischievous boys. Correct? But we are very good people now because our teachers did not lose faith in us. The teachers guided us. They know that we are children. They did not condemn us as for doing that naughty little things. Of course, they don't tell us, they don't support us doing that naughty things, but they will support us and they transform us. And today we are what we are because of our parents. They did not lose faith in us. Because of our teachers, they did not lose faith in us. Why? Because they cared for the doer. Right? Okay. So forgiveness is to forgive and not to forget lah. Sometimes people like forgive and forget lah. Sometimes we say you forgive and forget lah. If you can forget, there's nothing to forgive. Correct. After you've forgotten, what's there to forgive? So actually you can forgive lah. You know, not easy to forget lah. Correct. But if you have forgotten, then nothing to forgive lah. Correct. So forgiving is about the way we accept the wrongdoer. We accept the wrongdoer without the destructive impulse for revenge. So that is called forgiving. Yes, the person has done something wrong to you. We agree, yes, he has done, but please learn to forgive. Meaning to say that when we forgive, we do not have that impulse for a revenge. I must get even with you. No, that impulse should not be there. And why it should not be there? Because without that impulse, you can sleep better. Correct? You sleep well without those impulse for revenge. If you keep on continuing to harbor on that action that the person has done, we cannot forgive him. We have the impulse for revenge. What will happen? You don't sleep well. Correct? And you relive that actions again and again, you know. It happens only once. Maybe that person mistakenly scolded you. It happens only once. He has forgotten about it. But we continue to relive that moment and get angry again. And we think about that moment, we get angry again. And we think about that moment, we get angry again. So we relive this kind of unhappiness again and again. What for? It doesn't bring you happiness. So we say that we must try to forgive because it helps you in your sleep. Right? It has a good effect on you. See, so forgiving has a big liberating effect on us. We have the peace of mind to sleep well rather than harboring ill will, which has no positive impact on us. Like I've said, your ill will has no positive impact, but just for you to relive that bad moments again and again. The doer must have forgotten, but we have not forgotten. We want to continue to relive that point. He scolded me. In the morning, I remember. In the afternoon, I remember again. He scolded me. Before I sleep, I remember he scolded me. What for? He scolded me once, but I have relived it 3 times. and I continue this for months and for years. What for? He has forgotten, you know. He has forgotten, but I'm still so no point. So there we have to remember, we must not have that kind of grudge. So we mustn't have that kind of grudge. So this forgiving and all that, these are actually Buddhist ethics. This forgiving, see, the Buddha has taught us this. This is what the Buddha taught us, ethic of restraint. We must learn to restrain. We must deliberately refrain from doing harm to others. Correct? So if we cultivate this way, the Buddhist ethics is about forgiving people, about refraining from getting angry and talking about revenge. So we must cultivate this kind of Buddhist ethics. And Buddhist ethics of virtue means we must actively cultivate a positive behavior with inner values. Our inner values we must cultivate. Don't wish or speak bad. Don't wish or we speak bad things about people. Right? This is how we have to cultivate all this. Get rid of all this, abandon this kind of bad thoughts. So, and again, ethic of altruism, the joy. Dedicating our life genuinely and selflessly to the welfare of others. So in other words, we must also find time to do some social work. Buddhist work, social work, whatever it is, for the benefit of others. We must have this virtue. And this is what, and all this is about cultivation through the body, speech, and mind. So we are cultivating ourselves. Don't forget, everything that we do that is good, everything we do that is beneficial is actually cultivating ourselves through the body, speech, and mind. So we are upgrading ourselves spiritually. Okay. And the fourth cause of happiness, we go along with the boundless love, boundless compassion, and boundless joy. So we got metta, then metta we put to action, becomes compassion. Then compassion we develop into altruistic joy, mudita, whereby we are happy for people, whatever they do, we try to be happy for them. You see? And last, we have to cultivate ourselves that we must become equanimous. Right? Boundless equanimity is equanimous. We don't have to jump for joy when we have succeeded in helping people. We don't have to be very, very sad when we tried and did not succeed in helping others. Sometimes we try to help, but we fail. We must not blame ourselves. Sometimes we help and we succeed. It does not mean that we have to jump with great joy and tell everybody that, oh, I've succeeded in helping that person. I've succeeded in raising so much funds to give that person. I've succeeded so much funds. No, we must remain equanimous. Okay? We must remain equanimous whether we are extremely successful or maybe we did not succeed. We must be equanimous so that our mind remains calm and we can continue with our mission to help others. We can continue with our mission to learn to be happy. To make others happy is to be happy ourselves. So we have to learn that. So it is more, this with equanimity or balance, we become more flexible and stronger so that we can grow and develop without allowing anything to become too rigid or too extreme. Don't be too rigid. Sometimes people describe Theravada Buddhists as very rigid. They're very nice people, they say. The difference with Theravada and Mahayana, I'll explain to you what I mean by don't be too rigid and too extreme. The Theravada or Theravadins are known to be very rigid. Correct. In other words, but we are nice people, kind people, they say, no, but rigid. What does it mean? When we want to give charity to people, they say, the Theravada is like that, very rigid people. When they want to give charity, I'm a rich man, I know that the village is suffering from famine, I want to distribute my rice. I got to go down of rice. I put there, you come and take your share of rice from 8 to 5 p.m. only. Right? You come before 8, my doors are closed. You come after 5, my doors are closed. That is called rigid. You come within 8 to 5, then my man will give you the rice. I'm still generous, but I'm rigid lah. That's what it means by don't be too rigid lah. Understand? But otherwise, you see, people say that the Mahayanas are different. They also have that compassion in them. They also have that charity heart with them, charitable heart with them. but they will go around distributing rice to people regardless of time. Correct? Whenever they are ready, they go around and give to people door to door. They distribute the rice. But the Theravada will say, I'm here, you want, you come and take. You don't come, I don't give. Correct? And 8 to 5. No, before 8, I don't give. After 5, I don't give. But you must develop in such a way that we could be rigid. Try to help even we don't have this kind of rigidity. That's what it means here. We don't, so that when we are equanimous, maybe hopefully we can cultivate the middle way. Don't be too rigid about these things. We have to do, but don't be too rigid. So we become imbalanced when we hold on to things too tightly. Right? So the best is still the Majjhima Patipada. Don't forget the middle way. So with boundless equanimity, we bring balance to our activities and our mind, and we become fully expressive of our goodness nature. Okay? Then now we have covered these 4. If you think carefully, brother, you will ask me, brother, what has this to do with internal happiness? This is more external, isn't it? Right? So you may ask that question, but actually this is very much internal, because this happiness is achieved through mental training. Mental training that purge the afflicted emotions such as greed, hatred, and delusion, which literally poison the mind. Correct? Right? So this is internal happiness, because this happiness is achieved through mental training that purges the mind of afflictive emotions such as greed, hatred, and delusion. Right? When we do this, we cultivate this, we are actually cultivating ourselves spiritually of the 3 poisons of the greed, hatred, delusion. And that will make us happy. How? How? Okay, you can ask me how. Because this boundless quality of love that you have shown, compassion that you have practiced, the joy that we all share together, and the equanimity that we all have, where does it come from? It did not come from outside. When we say happiness comes from inside, because these qualities are through your heart. You are doing it from inside. Okay? So you are actually doing it from inside. So where do these boundless qualities of love, compassion, joy, and equanimity come from? Remember, they did not come from outside. They came from inside our own hearts and mind. They are an infinite treasure we already have. We just open and reveal them. This is the nature of the mind. And when we are in touch with love, it means we are in touch with the essence of our mind and heart. Whenever we do, it is important to be in touch with our hearts and mind. Essentially, this means that we relax into the nature of our mind and share our natural beauty qualities with others. This will bring everlasting happiness for everyone. Okay? So to achieve this kind of happiness, everlasting happiness, is to cultivate internally. We always say the external stimulus that makes you happy are not everlasting, but you must cultivate this. And how to cultivate the inner happiness? That is the question we always ask ourselves. How do we cultivate this inner happiness? We talk about inner happiness. External happiness, we say, is temporary. But now we have used the Brahma Viharas on the cultivation of such happiness. So if we can do this, I think this is an everlasting happiness. Okay? And with that, I would like to say thank you very much for joining me again. If the slot is still available next week, we will continue with the part 3 of our happiness. Thank you very much. Over to you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, Bro Leng Huat, for today's happiness sharing. Now let us dedicate some merits to all beings. Akasata cha bummata devanaga mahidika punyang tam anumoditva chiram rakantu loka sasanang etawata cha amhehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe dewa sabbe bhuta sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. And aspirations. Imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo tu yavani bana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Thank you everyone for watching. For other videos, please visit the links below. Bye bye for now.